Hey guys, how's it going? This here is Tracilyn. I'm also known as VCat. And for anybody who may have seen my YouTube pages on the VCat vlog, on my the music page that I have, I forget what the address is, Tracilyn Michael, also known as VCat, or on my Facebook, maybe you've seen some photos of me with this guitar. I named her Squirrely, and I got it while I was in Las Vegas. When I fell on hard times out in Las Vegas and I didn't know what else to do with my life, how to make money for survival, I walked out onto the city streets and realized, I could play a guitar and maybe make a little bit of money to help me get through, to make ends meet. Unfortunately, that didn't work out too well, but I found a new passion, or I rediscovered a passion that I once had, I should say, which was doing something in life because that's what you love to do. And I used to sit on the bridges out there on the Las Vegas Strip and strum away on a guitar. Well, eventually I think I shared a story, in fact I know I did, I shared stories of me out in Las Vegas, and cut a lot of the crap out. Is, at some point I was playing my other black guitar that I have. I named her Kelly. And she was a really nice guitar before those days because the heat kind of warped it and laying it on the concrete and stuff like that. The street life is much different than a sheltered life. I ended up meeting somebody at the hotel that I was staying at in the parking lot one night after I got off of the bridge, and he had mentioned that he had this guitar for sale. He didn't have it in his hand at the time, but he brought it over to the hotel room and he played it. And it had stickers all over it and stuff. See here in the back, I ended up engraving my name, VCat. And he told me that, I told him I didn't have really that much money to buy an extra guitar, but he encouraged me because the fact that, obviously that other guitar was worth a little bit more, and, it might get stolen from me, or, things like that. I'm just ruined from using it on the street and being out in the heat. So I told him I didn't have much to offer, and long story short, he took that day's salary from me in exchange for guitar, which was only $10. That's right. I got this guitar it was either $10 or $15. But that $10 or $15, I stood out in extreme heat, taking a lot of abuse by people who were, because of my circumstances. But there was a few generous people, and those generous people helped me get this guitar, and then I eventually came back to Ohio and put together a costume and stuff and did a lot of street performances, and I was quite happy. Unfortunately, no matter what I do, it seems that people just frown upon me. So, how I ended up in Las Vegas and got this guitar is I was involved in Christianity off and on throughout my whole life, but extensively probably in the beginning of 2000, 2001. And let me tell you something that just totally warped my mind, and you don't know it until you're there. And I used to have a lot of weird dreams. I had a lot of weird things that happened to me as well, so can I explain a lot of this stuff? I couldn't. If you go view my other pages, you will see that a lot of unique things that most humans would declare are impossible and incapable of happening, happened to me. Why that is, I don't know. I don't want to know. All I know is I'm very miserable in this life, and a lot of it is because I allowed Christianity and its teachings to rule my life into poverty, into very unhealthy circumstances. I mentioned that some of my dreams that used to come to me was of God talking to me in my bedroom and asking me to follow what it is that he's requesting to do. At one point it was to go out to Las Vegas. He showed a big vision of Las Vegas at night, so you've seen all the city lights, and asked me why I wasn't going there. Don't I have faith? Don't I trust him? You know, think about it. If somebody would invite you out a great distance, wherever it is, anywhere in the world, and you know, you weren't too sure or certain, but you know your circumstances weren't the healthiest, and you know, why would this almighty powerful person just leave you hanging if you showed up? Well, guess what? It left me hanging because it doesn't exist. It's because my brain was washed to believe in a lot of stupid stuff. So I end up in Las Vegas, and I got left hanging. The same God that was in my dream asking me if I had faith and why I don't trust him, why I'm not doing what he's asking me to do, not once but twice, left me hanging in the middle of nowhere in my time of need. And that's how this guitar ended up in my hands. I've shared in a recent video that the last piece of my puzzle to put together a healthy foundation for myself is an apartment of some sort where I can work on my art and just pretty much be left alone. If that's possible, to live my life my way. Since society will not let me be a part of it, and society doesn't seem to want to help those it rejects, I have to accept it because there's nothing else. Suicide, that's about it. And I think about that every day. I have been mistreated my whole life. Instead of people appreciating me and valuing what I have to offer and who I am, I'm slammed continuously by the same people who open up doors to help me. If I would have realized that I am God, and I would have been taught properly, a lot of the unhealthy stuff that I had to endure would have never happened to me, more than likely. It's not happening to me now. Do you know why? Because I'm not trusting anything outside myself. Human nature, I guess. So I brought Squirrely out after a lot of in-depth thinking. I don't want anything to do with my past. I don't want anything to do with my dreams. I don't want anything to do with a lot of, at all. From this day behind me, I don't want nothing to do with it. And when I move on, if it is possible for me to get a place to live, I don't want to take anything with me from yesterday. Every time I look at this guitar, I think of my trip out in Las Vegas. I think of all those dreams. I think of all the things that happened to me leading up to that event. You know, living up to that time frame in my life. I've always wanted to take a guitar and destroy it. Being that I only paid $10 for this and psychologically where I'm at in life, I figured now's a good time to do what I've always wanted to do. So I'm gonna have fun with it. And as I break this guitar, it's a symbol of everything that I've ever been taught in this country that finds it fit to misteach everybody and keep us from who we really are. See, I'm supposed to be happy and grateful for who I am and for where I am and for the things that are being given to me and things like that. But I realized the other day, that's not even a portion of who I am. I'll never get to maximize my life because I've been robbed my whole entire life. When you get into a person's mind, you set them up for whatever it is that you desire to. And for anybody watching this who doesn't believe that, you're already trapped. You're living in that mental bondage, you just aren't awake to it. So, As I break this guitar, may it be a symbol that I totally regret ever believing that there was something outside myself that would love me, ever believed that there was a God other than who I am. And may I never, and mark my words, I have had quite a few dreams, even in the last few months, I'll never take them serious anymore. Here we go. No dreams, just reality. And a pathetic one it is. How long do you think it's gonna be before a cop shows up? Tells me I'm vandalizing something out here. Writes me a citation. Taking my frustrations out. There's nowhere to go in this country, you know that. Where you can be totally free. For all the American dreams, big or small, this one's for you. Now that's rock and roll, baby. Chances are that was not made in America, land of the homeless and jobless. I'd like to take this time to thank all the Americans who are a part of helping people in foreign lands to come to this wonderful country, to be enslaved. While totally ignoring the people who are right here. Hey guys, so I just wanted to show you something. Look at this. I'm ashamed of myself. Maybe that kind of explains why there's so many people that are hurting in this country right now. Why there's no resources to help those in need, because there's so many people in need. All of our money's going overseas. I wonder how many children are enslaved into making that crappy guitar. What do you think? Everything's made in China, isn't it? We're helping people overseas all over the place, aren't we? And then when somebody's mentally disabled, you know, they're doing it to themselves. They don't have to be crazy. They're making the choice to be crazy. I've learned the right way to live. And it was an old belief system that I once had that was lost when I got involved in Christianity. It doesn't get any better than this. And if this message reaches into anybody's heart who is thinking there is a God that loves you, cares about you, maybe you're the problem. You're not giving people enough forgiveness, mercy, or grace. You're not grateful enough. You're not staying focused on the good things in your life. You're stuck in negative thinking. You hear all kinds of that in the Christianity faith. And I'm here to tell you it doesn't matter how you manipulate your mind. You will burn yourself out if you do not understand that it's a very bitter, evil, judgmental, cruel, might not be world, I haven't been there, so country. United States, you will find out, is not united if your ass ends up on the street. That's when you discover that nobody cares about you. forky ahead. Remember what I said?